If you're using JavaScript without taking advantage of asynchronous patterns, you're missing out on a large chunk of what is possible. Understanding and using asynchronous patterns in JavaScript, such as callbacks, promises, and async and await, are critical for any JavaScript programmer. Now, we have already covered some critical topics that apply to asynchronous coding in JavaScript. We have introduced asynchronous coding and the role of the event loop. If you need to review that topic, please do so before continuing in this section. We also spent a couple of topics on callbacks in the critical fundamentals, the tricky part section. Callbacks are a fundamental pattern for asynchronous coding in JavaScript, so make sure to review that if needed as well. The patterns we'll be focusing on in this section are promises, and then the async await pattern. Now, remember, we described how coding in JavaScript is handled sequentially, line by line, as the program runs because JavaScript is single-threaded. This is synchronous. In synchronous coding, statements must wait for earlier statements to get executed before they are able to run. However, there are many times when it is beneficial to have code execute after something else has happened, not sequential. We call this asynchronous. Synchronous code has a tendency to block other code, while asynchronous does not. In JavaScript, the event loop is the key in making asynchronous code happen. Some of the code we have explored that causes asynchronous operations are commands such as set timeout, events that occur to many DOM elements, and APIs like the fetch API. In this section, as we look at promises and async await patterns, we'll mainly focus on using the fetch API. Promises and async await are two different patterns for handling asynchronous code. In many cases, you can use these interchangeably, but it is critical to learn both because you will see both. We will cover promises first, so let's go ahead and jump into it.